Hello there. This is just a quick video to teach you how to create a digital version of hexagonal thinking, which I learned about on the Cult of Pedagogy podcast with Jennifer Gonzales. And so I wanted to just give credit to that as a resource for you in your work. And then I'll give you some steps on how to make your own template for hexagonal thinking to use with your students. I do have this copy to show that hexagonal thinking is a strategy or a routine to be able to have key terms created in digital hexagons that then can be clicked and dragged around on the Google Slide template to be able to represent connections between touching lines. And in this specific case, we've got some key connections that are narrated or explained by the student or by the learner to be able to really highlight the thinking and the reasoning behind these decisions. So it's a great strategy to be able to summarize main ideas or to show understanding in an area. It can be used in many different ways. And this specific slide has a number of different extensions. One of them is a tool being able to think about just soccer and practicing that skill. It can be a collaborative activity or it can be independent as well. So if you have access to a slide that might give you the steps on how to do hexagonal thinking, you can simply go to File and make a copy of the entire presentation or of the slides you'd like to be able to have your very own version of that you could then modify. By clicking into any of those slides, you would be able to change the text by just highlighting that text, or you could also change the color by clicking the bucket tool. Now, if you wanted to create your own, you would open up your own slide, and then you would be able to go Insert, Shape. You would select a hexagon and create it to be the size that you'd like. Now, one thing that I noticed in my creation of this is that when I went to add text, the size of the text mattered. So if I wanted to talk about creativity as one idea, being able to have my hexagon fit that was one point of consideration. So by highlighting the text, by double clicking on the words, I can change the size of the font to be able to make that fit, or I could just click and drag my hexagon to be bigger or smaller based on the size of my text. So if I like this color and I'm good to stick with it, then I could just copy, Control-C, and paste, Control-V, dragging it elsewhere and then changing the name or the title of that specific box. If I wanted to have different colors, selecting the shape and then clicking up here to see the bucket fill color, I then can choose to have that specific hexagon of a different color. So you can continue this process having as many hexagons or as few hexagons as you might like. And then once you're done, sharing the slide presentation with your students would be the next step, to have them do that either independently or collaboratively. You could take that slide collection, you could share it through Google Classroom to a small group of students. Giving them editing rights over the same document would give them the ability to do it collaboratively. If you took that same slide and you put it into Google Classroom again, your settings could be created so that you could have each student having their own template to work with. Now, the final thing to think about is why would you want to have, or how rather, would you want to have those specific explanations to be able to get at student thinking in the process? So I can insert a shape of an arrow, and then I could ask for explanation. And there are a few different tools that you might use to be able to have students explain their process. You might use Screencastify as a tool to record the screen and record my voice. That's the tool I'm using right now. You might also use Online Voice Recorder. OnlineVoiceRecorder.com will create an audio clip, and then you could use an audio clip loaded to Google Drive and then embed it into a slide. So there are some different strategies that you might use to be able to use hexagonal thinking with your students. If there are any additional questions, don't hesitate to send me an email. My email is in the comment description. Thank you.